Hi, everybody. It's Dee Slater with Create with Dee. Welcome to my weekly class. At the time of the video, I'm on live on Thursday. Normally, I'm on live on Wednesdays, but I was needed over at my family business yesterday intermittently, and I wasn't sure that I could basically make the 10 a.m. time on Wednesday. So I thought it would be fair to just push it out a day and we can get together here today. I have so much to go over with you today, and I'm so excited to share it all. But today's class, what we're going to do is we are going to be making a double Z-fold card. And the caveat of this is that I'm going to also share with you ways to think about matting. So yes, we're going to be making this double Z fold, but I'm showing it in two ways. Matting is basically a layering that we do on our cards, and people either do an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/4 of an inch on the matting. And so my sample that I have here is an 1/8 of an inch, but we're going to be making a 1/4 of an inch. That way we can compare and contrast the difference in matting, and then you can see what your preference might be as we go along. Hi, Mary Ann. Thanks for joining live. Okay, so while people are getting notifications and everything, some quick announcements. As you can see here, this is my April host code, and I'm going to do things a little differently this month. I'm kind of testing out something to see how this goes. What I'm going to do is any online orders now through the 15th is going to get the same card class. So it's not going to be dependent on the weekly class. This is going to allow me to give a little different techniques and things for our weekly get-togethers, which is what I'm just seeing like I'm drawn to and being spoken to do it with my followers. But I do want to thank those that order online using the host code. So this month, it's going to be what I'm calling the Think Pink card class. This is what my local card classes or card class is going to be making as well. So it's all about kind of embracing our really pretty bubble bath on it. So we're going to be, this would be your card kit that you would get if for ordering. So it's not the current one that we're doing. Again, it's a little different. Information will be on my blog. But you know, this is basically it. You'd get one set of cards with your $40, and you get double that if you are placing a $75 order. Other stamping kits that you can do with me this month. I'm so excited. I just absolutely love creating classes and doing these for my followers and those that take my classes. So what I have here this month is I don't have the samples quite finished yet for April's Creative Club, but we're going to be making buckle cards. Yes, I'm bringing back the buckle card. And Creative Club is $40 a month, and you get approximately $20 worth of goodies, and it gets shipped to you by the end of the month. That price is going to need to go up in May, but you can lock in this price of $40. It's probably going to go up $3 a month just because of the cost of the price increases that Stampin' Up! Has announced going in May. So you can lock in the $40. If you want to enroll in that, you can find everything on my Create with Dee website. And then if you're my newsletter subscribers, information will be there as well as later on this week, or I guess early next week on my blog. But my newsletter subscribers will get notification this weekend on the floating strip techniques. So, and again, local stampers, this is what you can make as well with my card classes. So all of that news is coming up. Good morning, Doreen. All right. So now for the main event. So we are going to be making, again, this double Z fold card. It's showcasing some of the new Stampin' Up! Products that'll be available next month in the new annual catalog. This is the Unbound Beauty designer paper. I did a little sneak peek of that last week. I just can't stop playing with this. It's so springy, and I just love the color palette in this. And again, what I'm going to be doing is showing you the difference between an 1/8 of an inch and a 1/4 of an inch matting with using the same products so that we can all see the side-by-side comparison to it. All right, let's get started making our double Z fold, and I'll turn the camera around and we'll get going. All righty. So I have all of these measurements on my blog. They're on my blog right now, createwithdee.com. So, you know, you don't have to try to take a screenshot or anything. I'll have a link after the video gets posted so that you can easily go right to the site on that. But what I have on there is all of the measurements that we're going to do today, and we'll go over the ones that we'll make put together. But the sample that I have shows an 1/8 of an inch matting, and what we're going to be making here today is a 1/4 of an inch matting. So these are all of the measurements, and no matter which matting that we do, again, a matting is the layers that we're putting together. The card base is the same for both. So again, all of that's on there. And beautiful stampers, my team, I'm going to be sending you out this PDF that you can keep for your file. So team, you can expect to see this. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get started. So a double Z fold, there are so many different ways of doing Z folds. The basic background of it, you know, starts with our traditional either 4 1/4 by 11 like you see here, or the other way, the 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. But what is totally different that you can do is what would be the double part of the Z fold. This can come in different shapes and sizes, and I just rediscovered this particular one. I really like it for the real estate that it shows off our beautiful designer paper. Okay, so this is I made this ahead of time in the 1/8 inch matting. So again, that's going to be where an 1/8 of an inch matting is going to be a smaller border that you see around all of the designer paper. So that's the 1/8, and we're going to be making the 1/4 of an inch. All right, so got lots of beautiful paper here to play with, and we'll get all of the different pieces together. I'll get them kind of half sorted here, see if I can do that relatively easily. Okay, so for our card base, we're going to start out with a piece of cardstock. This is the beautiful new Summer Splash, and again, it's 4 1/4 by 11. And ahead of time, I've scored it at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. So to make the Z fold, you fold your card base in half, and then fold the right side away from you back towards the score line. And then you just give yourself nice crisp edges. And so for this particular one, we're going to decorate both of the 2 small panels and the larger panel. So we're going to need some of our Unbound Beauty designer paper, and we're going to need 2 of them at 2 1/2 by 4. And I'm going to layer that onto the Petunia Pop cardstock. These are new in colors that will be available May 1st. Or if you would like to get the starter kit this month, and I welcome you to join my team if that's something that you're interested in, you can get these products as part of your starter kit. So we'll get that down. I think that liquid glue is just about done. So I'm going to put all of these panels on, and then we'll do a little compare and contrast with the 1/8 of an inch on here. Okay. So again, if you're just kind of joining live, what we're doing is while we're making our double Z fold, We're also going to look at the differences between the matting layers, between an 1/8 of an inch and a 1/4 of an inch. All right, so get that. I hope everybody enjoyed an Easter weekend, whether you celebrated it with family and friends, or you had a nice relaxing day, or however you wanted to spend your Easter. I hope everyone had a great Sunday. And then the layers that we are going to have for the inside is going to be our petunia pop. We need one piece at 4 by 5 1/4, and then the layering designer paper, the Unbound Beauty, is at 3 3/4 by 5. Again, all of these measurements are right now on my blog, so you don't feel like you have to, write anything down. Hopefully you can just enjoy watching. Look how pretty that paper is. This paper does have just a little bit of the pretty in pink in it too. It's super subtle in there. And then we'll get this layered onto the back. Okay. All right, so again, oops, that one, I didn't quite pay attention to that one. I put that down. I got a little bit off. All right, so let's just kind of see again the difference between a 1/4 of an inch and an 1/8 of an inch. So it's all about personal preference on how you'd like to do that. Again, it's how much of the layer is exposed do you want to see. All right, so that's kind of the difference there. And it also might even be what you're comfortable with using with your trimmer. Do you find using the 1/8 of an inch difficult? If that's the case, a 1/4 of an inch might be for you. All right, so here's the other card base. So again, we've got the inside is this. Now I'm going to take a piece of our Summer Splash cardstock. Again, it's a new in color starting May 1st. It's 3 by 9 3/4, and ahead of time I've scored it at 4 1/4 and 7. All right, so this time what I'm going to do is I've got that scored ahead of time. We're going to take this panel here, the far right panel, keep that down, and then we're going to do our fan folding the opposite way that we did our card base. So now we've got the larger panel here out front and the two smaller panels to the right hand side. So it's just opposite of how we did our larger cardstock or card base layer. All right, so now for these, our layering measurements are petunia pop. And this one, excuse me, is 2 1/2 by 4, and our layering designer paper is 2 1/4 by 2 3/4, or 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. Let me see if I got that right. Yes. All right. Anyways, all of the measurements are on my blog. Can't follow my own instructions when I have it over my shoulders here. All right. And so then we're going to put this onto our large panel that's on the left. So I guess pros and cons of the different matting would be if it's kind of all about the cuts. Again, do you want to see more of your designer paper on these double layers here? If so, you might want to do the 1/8 of an inch matting. If you want to see really that contrast of color for your cardstock on the back and you want more of that to showcase, then you might like to do the 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and then when you two of these panels here, I didn't tell you what those were. The petunia pop is 2 1/2 by 2 3/4, and the designer paper is 2 1/4 by 2 1/2. Again, I keep saying it depending on when you come in. All of the measurements are on my blog. And we'll put that down. So a double Z fold with the double Z and this measurement, you're really going to have lots and lots of real estate to decorate. Okay. So my trick that I do for putting these all together is I stage it ahead of time so that when it's closed, the card is closed, I want this, in this particular one, I want the center panel to be centered onto this whole card when closed. Okay, so that looks pretty good like that. But what I like to do first is, so this back panel here, all of this is going to get glued onto the backing. So we can take our adhesive of choice. I'm going to use some liquid glue. And I'm going to do that staging again. So this is going to go like that. And I'm holding it. See how I'm kind of holding it away from the card for the moment. And I'm going to get it to where I think it looks good. Now I'm going to take my finger out. That was kind of holding the placement. And I can kind of do a quick double check to see if I'm straight enough. And with liquid glue, you can move it just a little bit. I think I want it moved just a little bit more like that. All right, so then for putting our top panel down to glue that, if we did it mostly right on it, the left back side will reside on this part of the panel. So we can open this up, and as long as I stay to, when it's open, to the right-hand side, which would be closed, it would be on the back left, I'll be good. So I'll go ahead and just kind of got my finger here just to make sure I don't go over it, because I don't want any glue exposed once it's closed. So again, close it completely. Take my bone folder, get good contact. And again, if we need to zhuzh it a little bit to straighten it up, we can. We use our liquid glue. And then that's how we do the Z fold. Something that I always kind of like to show, and I'm doing this here, when it's opened and kind of at the right angles, you'll see that it forms this little rectangle or square box, depending on the size of your outside Z fold on it. But that's like a sure sign that it's going to be successful. All right, so we're going to decorate this, but while this is undecorated, let's just kind of take a peek again at class again of all about showing the difference in the matting. It's pretty subtle on here when you look at it side by side, but yet it's not. So again, this one's going to have a more delicate, very small, like, you know, a smaller little pop of color around it. While our fourth, so this is the 1/8 of an inch matting, and here's the 1/4 of an inch. So as you can see, you can really see more of the Petunia Pop, the accenting cardstock on it, than what you can on the 1/8 of an inch. So it's really just personal preference. I have a girlfriend who's also a demonstrator that she really likes 1/8 of an inch. I tend to gravitate towards the 1/4 of an inch just because it's easier for me to cut. But, you know, again, it's just kind of, you know, a personal preference on that. So hopefully you can kind of see the difference in the matting between the 1/8 and a 1/4. All right, let's do some decorating with some new upcoming products on here. This is all part of the Unbound Beauty suite of products. It's a mega suite, meaning that it's got two coordinating bundles that go with it. And I'm going to just introduce here our one of the new in colors, the Summer Splash. We'll kind of play around with that just a little bit. The table, place cards, and treats. Oh, oh, we had, I'll get with you later, Doreen, and see if I can find if I took any pictures on that. That's more up close. So what I'm using, she wanted to know about my up close of my table treats and things on it. All right, so I am using here mainly today the Unbound Love bundle. As I think I talked last week, I can see that this is going to be one of my favorite go-tos on this. So I'm going to be using the Happy Birthday, and then may all of your wishes come true. And then also going to be using primarily the labels and images that are found in the matching dies. Something that I don't know why I've never done before, but I did this time just so that I could show everybody all of the beautiful labels that are in this set. So here's like you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 solid labels in that. And I wanted to share that like this is one die, but when you die cut it, it die cuts both out. It die cuts both the frame and the inside. So I'm just going to use the inside piece of this, but you can do some nice accenting with that little kind of calling it a twofer on that. When you die cut this label out, or this, yes, I guess it's more of a frame. You also get this fun, like this is probably intended to be a throwaway piece, but I think that'll be a fun label that we can use too. Also in this, I liked how they gave us this, I'll call it a floral image, but it's not really a floral. It's just an element, but we get both a right and a left. So that's great on it. And it coordinates with this one too. Here's another in and out, I'm calling this in and out, one die, but you have the two different components to it. And then we have this other nice label here, this other frame, and then two coordinating images with it. So it's a really great, I think, all-purpose set if you're looking for one to add to your collection here starting in May. Okay, so I'm going to use the Happy Birthday, and again, we got Summer Splash. This has to be like one, this will probably be one of my go-to labels. I love a scallop label, and it also is stitched on the inside. I mean, what more could we want? Just absolutely think it's a really great one. So I'm going to do Happy Birthday. And then also just sticking with the same color, may all your wishes come true. And this is going to go on our back panel. Okay, get the ink out of here. All right, so also ahead of time, with Summer Splash, I die cut two of those labels that I just kind of are open leaf images that we talked about. And then I just, I was trying to stay all with that one, but I just couldn't help myself with how this designer paper was. Because again, this bundle or this suite has two bundles that work with it. This is the Flowers of Beauty dies, and it has the matching floral images to the paper. But I wanted to point out these can be used as both border strips, or you can die cut all of these flowers out at the same time. So with one swoop, you can cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these smaller flowers out. So that's what I did with our Petunia Pop. So kind of staying with those two major colors. And let me get my two leaf patterns out. Okay. On the back side of the scallop label, I'm going to put a little liquid glue on here, maybe. Let's grab another one. And that's just going to act as a placeholder for my my two stems here for the moment. So that way, again, I can kind of move them around and do that. Okay, so I like how that looks. going to grab my Stampin' Dimensionals now, and now I can put one over top of where those stems are at. And we'll get 3 of these. So let me know if you like the idea of seeing both of the different matting layers. And then also let me know if you tend to go, when you make your cards, do you tend to use 1/4 of an inch matting, or do you like the 1/8 of an inch matting? And again, a mat in my terminology is like doing the layers, when you have multiple layers on a card. And I'm going to put that one right on the inside. And for this card, I probably, before I send it or gift it, I'll put a white section of 4 by 5 1/4, and that can be where I do my writing on it. All right, let's go ahead, and we're going to use these 4 of the 8 little flowers. I use the other 4 flowers on the other card in here. And I have my mini dimensionals, and I turned these over on the back side, and I actually cut these mini dimensionals in half, and I'm going to put them over there. I know that, like, you're probably saying, well, do some of that adhesive from the mini dimensionals going to show through? And that would be the case, but I'm going to cover it up with a really pretty gem. So I'll do that. Do I have one more cut? No, let's get one more cut. So I'm here at the end, and I'm just kind of cutting up through my dimensionals, mini dimensionals, in half. And of course, you could use the full-size dimensionals too and just cut off a little piece of that. This is why I love this Take Your Pick tool. Okay, that way I can get in there and get some of them off. All right, let's get the backing off of these. For this flower, I almost need a mini dimensional. Don't know that my eyes could handle something much more smaller than that without having a magnifying glass right over top of it. Although I know that some people do that, and I think it's actually kind of smart. You don't have eye strain. All right, let's put some of these little cute posies on our card. Oh, thanks, Janet. I'm glad that you like the colors. I'm going to put 2 of these up here in the upper left-hand corner. And kind of upper left. And then I'm going to put one of these down here in the lower right. And I'm going to open this up. And then the other one I'm going to put right on top of here. And then let's get this. These are some of the new In Color gems. These are called the Shimmer Gems. But look at all of the tones that you get in here. I mean, yes, these are the new In Colors. Purple or Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink is back, Summer Splash, Shamrock Shy, I think it is, and Peach Pie. But look at all of the tones. You can go any purple, any pink, any of the greens, any of the oranges, and it's going to be a great gem to have. I'm going to go with these Pretty in Pink ones, just to kind of, and that's what I said I was going to cover up the holes there that have the adhesive. So I'll be ordering extra of these to have on hand, because I can really see myself going through them like crazy. Also with the new In Colors, what I also liked about this is that I think it's 4 seasons, because definitely, you know, it reads pastel for now and through the summer months. But look at our In Color tones. We've got like basically I'm going to say pastel tones for the fall and Thanksgiving, and with purple, green, and orange tones, and then Christmas tones with, you know, the blues and the pinks and purples and pinks. So again, I think, you know, when you have your first order with the new catalog, try to put these gems on. I think you probably will gravitate towards them for a lot of different seasons, not just when you use the new in colors. Okay, that is it. Thanks, Deborah. Glad that you like the colors. I'm going to turn the camera around now. So that's our class today, kind of showing how to make the double Z fold, as well as kind of exploring and seeing which of the two matting layers that you may have a preference to on it. And again, please head over to my website at createwithd.com if you want to grab these measurements on my blog, just to, you know, have a quick, easy reference to it. So again, I've got all of these measurements there. No need to try to write it down on that. And I thank you for joining me. If there's anything in here that you liked, or that, you know, maybe you learned something a little new, or new trick or whatever, please let me know. I'd appreciate a thumbs up, a like, and if you haven't, I invite you to subscribe to me on YouTube or follow me on Facebook, wherever you may be watching my classes. All right, everybody, you have a great Thursday and rest of your week, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.